Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is January the 12th, 2020, golden age, baby. Strong hand. Buy and hold, just like this shirt says. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. One Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. Offended by selling. In motion, your home for Bitcoin insider information. We're going to talk about those crypto dividends at the top of this show. Hello, my elite friends. How you doing tonight? Yes, it is January. It is the 12th, still in Los Angeles at least. I'm in Tucson, Arizona. I'll be in El Paso very soon, in 2 days. We'll talk about that later. It's 2020, baby. So if you've got questions, type in Bitcoin Meister in the chat. You could do a super chat also, and that'll catch my attention, and I can answer all of your lovely questions on this lovely evening for those of us who understand what holding Bitcoin is all about. That when you hold Bitcoin, you get interest on that Bitcoin through the crypto dividend process, whether it be airdrops or whether it be forks. And many of you heard about the MimbleWImbleCoin crypto dividend, MWC, from me a few months ago, whenever it was. And I said, you sign up for it, you get the airdrop, you get this this free coin that uses the MimbleWimble privacy protocol, just like Grin and everybody was shouting about Grin and the other one. What's the other one called? I forget. But Grin and Beam. People were shouting how great this privacy MimbleWimble was. Okay, so that this dude makes his own MimbleWimble coin, gives it out for free to the Bitcoin holders, okay? So let's see how good it is. Or let's just flip it for some Bitcoin, baby, because you got to value your wealth in Bitcoin. Well, there were people like, oh, I don't want to do it. It's a scam. It's a this, it's a that. There were people, oh, it's only going to be a few pennies. It's going to be, okay. So we all got, for every Bitcoin we had, we got a little over 40. So there were some people that said that, okay, we're going to get 40 of these. They're going to be 2 cents each. So we'll get 80 cents. But no, what has happened over the last, since Shabbat ended here, I checked freaking Hotbit, the Chinese exchange where this baby is listed, and they're, for you fiat freaks, I mean, they're selling for like $3 a piece, okay? And if you do the math in your head, that's over a 1.4, where it is right now, it's over 1.4% return. So it's like getting 1.4, if you sell it now, it's like getting 1.4% interest on your Bitcoin just for holding. You didn't have to give it to some third party. You got this crypto dividend, you turned it into Bitcoin, 1.4%. Andy Hoffman's got a pump article about it if you want to check that out. That is linked to below, of course. I will say this, right now, in terms of best performing crypto dividends, it's like one of the best ones ever. currently of the ones that are still out there, the BSV is what, 1.9% right now. So hey, I'm happy. I'm a happy dude. I obviously have more Bitcoin than I did at the beginning of 2020. Pound that like button. And hey, it's your home of insider information, Bitcoin insider information, just like that. And I'll keep everybody up to date. Oh, and what I wanted to say is Hotbit also, it's a Chinese exchange. There's no KYC there, and it runs very smoothly. You can get Bitcoin off of it. And the other thing here that I keep on skipping is that despite they gave away, they were supposed to give away 6 million of these babies. They're only going to ever be 20 million MWCs. 500,000 went unclaimed. So I want everyone out there to tell the people from MWC, hey, you guys got to market yourself more. You got to spread the word more. The best way to spread the word is to give those 500,000 out to Bitcoin holders again. Have another airdrop. Give them out. More people will get pumped about it now since they'll see there's an actual price over there on Hotbit. Okay, so I actually I was so excited about this because, when I'm getting free Bitcoin, I'm real excited. I even talked about it on yesterday's Beyond Bitcoin show. So check out yesterday's Beyond Bitcoin show. Check out This Week in Bitcoin. We had Simon from the Netherlands on. We had Brad Mills on. They both made their debuts. And we had Jeff Vandrew on. It was a great This Week in Bitcoin. Check out disruptmeister.com for all my old shows, techbalt.com, TECHBALT, for all the old This Week in Bitcoin shows. You can learn a lot. Follow me on Twitter at techbalt, TECHBALT. That's like technology in Baltimore. I'm from Baltimore originally. And we're going to talk a little bit. A lot of people in Baltimore are talking football, sadly. But we're going to talk football on here. We're going to tie it all together in a second. But I wanted to share this tweet from, who is this from? Chris Berniski. By 2100, and then he has question mark because it might be sooner, digging shiny rocks out of the ground to account for and store value will seem Neolithic. Gold. Neolithic soon. Pound that like button. All right. It is ancient stuff, dudes. Hey, some people like the ancients, I guess. The upcoming halving events of Bcash and BSV could very well lead to their ultimate demise. I'll explain why below. And this is from a guy in Australia, Seller Major B. And Rocky Palumbo has brought this point up many times on Twitter. To me personally, he's probably said it in videos before. The Bcash and BSV halvings are going to be in April, which is before the Bitcoin halving. So the miners will switch to mining Bitcoin once they won't be able to get as much of that not so valuable Bcash and BSV, half as much after those dates of their halving. So they'll switch to Bitcoin, and it'll make those two chains vulnerable to attacks. So we'll see what happens. It will be interesting to see. It will be interesting to see. It will also be interesting to see if those, if Billionaire Calvin really and King of the Trolls start, saying, "Oh, halving's coming for our coins," and maybe that'll create halving hype for Bitcoin. Hey, I can twist anything. I can put a positive twist on anything there. Even the Bcash and BSV, which are obviously unfriendly forks. But hey, this is where the big boys play. So let them do what they're going to do. And let the market dictate what's going to happen here. We're going to see if the miners stop mining them. Some miners will continue, or if Billionaire Calvin will just. It might be different what happens between the two. Also, like the guy's got a lot of money. Apparently, we're going to talk about Billionaire Calvin in a second. Maybe he'll just keep the mining going at the same rate that it was going beforehand. Who knows? On BSV, not Bcash. Hey. Carlos Velarde Jr. sent $4.99. Value your wealth in Bitcoin, not the Ravens. Haha. Yeah, you're definitely right, dude. And I mentioned on yesterday's show how many of my fellow Baltimoreans were when they were watching the Ravens. They were intensely watching the Ravens. I did not watch the Ravens. I have not watched an NFL game since before the 2016 season. Now, again, if the Ravens would have won, I would have watched the AFC title game. Yes, that would have been my first game in many years, but that's a separate matter. But I said on Saturday's show, how many Baltimoreans? I mean, they don't know about personal responsibility being the counterculture. They're part of mainstream culture when they're blindly drooling over the Ravens and buying purple stuff. Meanwhile, one Baltimorean who's not even in Baltimore anymore, I was on freaking Hotbit and dealing with this, noticing the MWC thing, because I learned about Bitcoin. I learned about crypto dividends those years that I was not watching the NFL. So, I mean, it's a personal choice. You can be a fan of the NFL. You can be obsessed with that kind of stuff, but don't come crying to me when you're poor, and don't try to steal from me when you're poor. If you didn't obsess over this bread and circuses, the circuses part of it, you would go into educational stuff like Bitcoin. You would learn on YouTube. You wouldn't get into sports discussions and stuff. You would get into crypto dividends discussions, and Saturday would have been a glorious day for you. Again, Saturday was a glorious day for me, and Sunday. And for most in my hometown, it was a very sad day. But some people prioritize entertainment over finances. Okay, over mindless entertainment over finances. But personal responsibility is a new counterculture, and most of those people will never even realize it anyway. They're so obsessed with mainstream culture. Let them live in their haze. I'm doing my best over here. If they want to find it, they can find it. And the Baltimore Sun, no, I don't think the Baltimore Sun, the paper of record of Baltimore, I don't think they've ever had a Bitcoin article in there from what I know. One of their favorite sons has become this Bitcoin YouTuber dude. And they're telling you about what color underwear the Ravens wear. I mean, that's news in Baltimore, every little aspect of Raventree over there. Okay, but we're going to actually talk about Monday morning crypto Bitcoin quarterbacks. Okay, Monday morning Bitcoin quarterbacks. So one thing, when you become one of these obsessed NFL fans and your team loses on Sunday or Saturday, on Monday, a lot of guys who've never even played the game, they think they know better. They're like, well, this should have been done. This should, they're looking backward. It's easy to pass judgment and criticize something after the event. Okay, very easy to do. A lot of 80%ers, they love to. That's one of their favorite things to do is be just Monday morning quarterbacks with the NFL. But you could be a Monday morning Bitcoin quarterback too. There are so many people out there. Well, you should have done this with your Bitcoin. You should have traded it on that day in 2015 or in 2017 or in 2016. You should have done that. It's so easy for these loudmouths to say what you should have done when they've already seen what history is. They have no strategy, and most likely they've never played the game before. Most likely they're freaking no-coiners, okay? And I don't know if they get off on being a Monday morning Bitcoin quarterbacks. I don't know. Or they think they're actually providing some sort of knowledgeable service, but it's not. It's not helpful. Anyone can do it. A 5-year-old can see what happened and say, "Oh, you should have done that." I mean, that's all it is. It's no talent. It's no skill. It's a waste of time. It's noise. But I notice it's when I got the NFLs in my head a little bit because of what happened yesterday, they're Monday morning quarterbacks there. They're Monday morning quarterbacks here in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, whatever. So many guys, you should have done this. You should have done that. No, you have conviction. You have long-term thinking into the future. It's not about the past. It's not about regrets. It's sticking to a plan. When you stick to a plan, you don't make impulsive mistakes. It's easy to be that Monday morning Bitcoin quarterback though. All right, pound that like button. So I do wonder with these altcoins, BSV, I noticed pumped, and I think there was some fake news about it. Again, people are still falling for that fake news, but I don't think it's just. I think when it pumps, I wouldn't be surprised if these markets are so immature. And they're not very deep, that a very wealthy person could just be like, I'm just going to buy more of this and pump the price when this news story comes out. And it could be coordinated because every time we've had this happen a few times with BSV, and it pumps. Obviously, it's a lot of people are buying it at that point, or one person is buying, and then it trickles back down again after the story disappears. But I think I'd say it's a good strategy if that's what the dude is really doing, buying and then releasing these insane stories, because the people who don't know very much, it gives them kind of an affirmation, a confirmation that a false confirmation that the story, maybe it is legit if the price went up. So when they hear another crazy story, they're like, well, I'll buy in because the price is going up again. And it's not a bad strategy, but I do wonder in all these coins. I mean, even in MWC, and again, I got MWC for free. So whatever, if there's some billionaire that's pumping up MWC, thanks a lot, dude. Thank you. But some of these price surges that we see, if there are wealthy fans of these coins, I think they really can they can do it. They can manipulate the price for a short period of time, at least. All right. But I'm not going to comment on I don't even know the latest fake news from BSV. So it's all like, it's coming soon. It's next month, next year, and people keep falling for it. 10% of the population is going to fall for anything. So it's where the big boys play. They can play over there. Good luck. All right. So let's move on. The purity test. I forgot to mention this purity test thing. We've seen this come and go. It's cyclical. I think there's a certain times hardcore Bitcoiners get a little frustrated in social media and they got to take a step back. And here's a tweet from Brad Mickelson. Your relative can invest in a dozen cryptocurrencies and still believe Bitcoin is the future of money. Your friend can write a blog post criticizing Bitcoin and still be a supporter. Don't trust people who force purity tests on you in order to participate. Bitcoin is for everyone. Now, I'm going to say this. Bitcoin is for everyone. Now, you can say if your relative is invested in a dozen cryptocurrencies and they still believe Bitcoin is the future, you might not want to do that. But you're not going to say, okay, you're shunned. You're out of the Bitcoin land that I represent. You're not a Bitcoiner anymore. You're evil. Dude, you got to calm down. You got to calm down, dudes. The purity test. No one is 100% pure. People get crypto dividends for free. They turn them into Bitcoin. Does that make me not pure? I mean, people make mistakes. People have questions about Bitcoin. They might write articles that question Bitcoin. It's good to test and prod and have questions. But this person also says, don't trust people who force purity tests on you in order to participate. Well, that's a little harsh, but some of these guys just love Bitcoin so much that they get caught up in this purity test mentality and they think they're really doing Bitcoin a favor. And this is where the big boys play. They can do that if they want to, but I think it's good for their health if they take a step back and think like, why am I purity testing people? Let other people do what they're going to do. I can give them constructive criticism, but don't be the Ayatollah of Bitcoin and chop off someone's hand if they aren't as pure as you. I don't think that's healthy. But hey, you can do what you want to do. And but some people, don't trust some of them. I mean, you got to judge people as individuals. If somebody is totally insane about the Bitcoin purity test and sounds very defensive about it, then you got to wonder a little bit about them, I guess. But some people just love Bitcoin so much that they're throwing out these purity tests. Take some steps back, guys. You don't need to do purity testing. All right, but at the same time, if your relative loves Bitcoin but is also buying 12 different altcoins, have a talk. Have a little constructive talk with them and say, dude, value your wealth in Bitcoin, baby. 1 Bitcoin equals 1. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. All right. Frinzik says, what is an 80%er? Well, the traditional definition is that 20% of the people out there produce 80% of everything. Okay. So the 80%ers produce, they're not very productive. They kind of go with the flow. They don't have the entrepreneurial spirit. They go with trends. They don't really think as much traditionally. So I've added a little bit more onto the 80%er there. The 20%ers in general, they think for themselves. They are long-term thinkers. 80%ers are generally short-term thinkers, are distracted easily. And they just don't have they don't want to take the extra step generally. And thus they don't produce as much. And again, I've taken the whole 80% or 20% thing to another level, I guess. But you definitely, for me, I like to be around happy, productive, long-term thinking people who are not impulsive. And those are, and obviously that's the minority of people on the planet. I mean, the people who don't care about fitting in, the counterculture The people who believe in personal responsibility are generally 20%ers. And now again, there might be some 80%ers that are totally cool. They take personal responsibility and they don't want to be productive. They want to be lazy. Okay. I mean, there's some gray areas there, but generally that's my definition of 80% and 20% are there. So, all right. So you asked that question twice. I hope okay, you see. Okay, good. Very good. Thank you for the question. So no. Bitcoin Motorist said, I saw this. So I shouldn't tell my friend not to invest in BitConnect? No, you should tell your friend not to do that. I said that. If your friends are buying 12 Bitcoins, 12 different altcoins, say, no, that's not a good idea, dude. That's not a good idea. If they're getting into a straight up scam, say, dude, that's a straight up scam. That's not a pure, you're not being a purity tester that way. So Bitcoin holders are 20%ers. Yeah, in general, yes. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. That is the ones who can hold on. The ones who don't panic. Yeah, they're generally 20%ers indeed. And again, probably in the whole Bitcoin space, in the whole cryptocurrency space, I think 20%ers are overrepresented. All right. So speaking of, well, let's talk about a pundit out there, a financial guy, financial pundit, I guess. His name is Ben Hunt. And I actually hadn't heard of him before. I think I had heard of his blog, which is Epsilon Theory. Now, as many of you know from my Saturday show, I like to just go. I don't go where YouTube tells me to go. I check some channels where I think smart people produce good content and that I don't always agree with. And there's a guy out there, probably mentioned him a long time ago, and he never had a Bitcoiner on, Albert Liu. He had Doug Casey. I discovered him through Doug Casey a long time ago. Albert Liu never had a Bitcoiner on, never had Bitcoin in his title before. And I would leave comments. And Albert Liu produces a really good show. And he doesn't have many people watching his show these days, which just shows you the state of YouTube. I mean, he's buried because he doesn't Albert Liu does not follow the algorithm. He produces stuff every once in a while. It's smart stuff. Some of it is doom stuff. Okay. I'll tell you that. So it's not all, but he's doing it, he wants to learn. He definitely wants to learn this Albert Liu. So he gets this guy, Ben Hunt, on. Okay. And I was intrigued by this Ben Hunt guy because he comes from a traditional finance background. He's definitely a little bit of a doomer. He's into some gold, but he does like Bitcoin on a certain level. Now, he's a little freaked out about Libra to like a point where it's a little bit conspiratorial on this Ben Hunt's part, okay? And again, his blog is Epsilon Theory. I linked to an article he wrote about Bitcoin. Now, and he also says that the dollar is the best of the fiats out there and it's not going anywhere. And I agree with him. He thinks that Libra he thinks it's going to confuse a lot of people and that it could hurt Bitcoin, but at the same time, it will make Bitcoin into the new gold, because I think he thinks everyone's going to get stuck on Libra. And he understands what Libra is, that it is a censorable currency. And he calls Bitcoin uncensorable. Okay. So but he's still a little hesitant on Bitcoin. I point this all out so you can get a different point of view. Now, the Albert Liu show that I linked to below, Ben Hunt doesn't really actually talk about Bitcoin it's not until the end they start to talk about cryptocurrency. Played at 2x. It is interesting. And he believes very much in stories like I do. Like, I believe in the welfare dollar story. There's so many people hooked on the welfare dollar that they're not giving up. You can print as many dollars as you want. They're going to still find value in that dollar because they depend on that dollar. The whole world thinks of the United States as the epicenter of culture. Everyone tries to be like Americans on a certain level in terms of popular culture, at least. And this story isn't changing anytime soon. And this helps prop up the dollar. So he's into this whole story thing. And so I learned the whole story thing from Yuval Harari, who is totally different from this Ben Hunt guy. But anyway, there's my little YouTube video recommendation for the day. He maybe he'll come on this show one day. And again, he is a little too doomer for me, but so this is you might be able to get something from this. And you also see this Albert Liu channel, who is an interesting guy. He says that he thinks Facebook is aiming to like destroy Bitcoin. And that isn't. I don't think that is the case at all. Facebook just wants to print their own freaking money, dude. Anyway, so but he's a little bit of a doomer, so that's why he thinks of destruction. All right. I begin a lot of fake, spammy emails from, well, they're pretending to be from exchanges. And I got to think that at one of these times, some exchange or something that I have dealt with, like in a minor way, got hacked or started selling information, okay? Because this is, I'm just getting way too much crazy stuff. So guys, be careful. Be careful out there. You're going to be prone to this if you've ever given your address to any of your email addresses to any Bitcoin or crypto, or maybe not even related to it. Maybe it was just something else that got hacked. And these guys figured, maybe my demographic, they figure is into crypto. I'll send out 1 billion emails, and one of them is going to trigger someone to click on this fake exchange, check out your Bittrex exchange or Polonia or whatever it is. I don't even know. It's all different ones. It's all different fake emails from exchanges that it's not really from those exchanges. So be careful, dudes. Be careful. All right. And if you want to set up a crypto consultation with the Bitcoin Meister right here, email me, adam@tresorhelp.com, or send me a DM at techbalt, TECHBALT. I think that is the end of the show there. All right. That is it. I wanted to mention, been mentioning videos, songs lately that I like. This is more than just a song. This is actually the opening credit. It's linked to below. The opening credits of Saturday Night Fever, starring John Travolta. The opening scene, which has the credits on it. It is a legendary scene. Staying Alive is playing. It's only a 4-minute clip. And it's awesome, man. If you if you want to see what Brooklyn looked like in 1977 and how people dressed and just, a dude being a dude. And he was in his prime then, John Travolta. I mean, what is that, 43 years ago now? Unbelievable. And the song is awesome. It's the video embodiment of the song. It's great. So check it out if you want to get a big smile on your face. It's a classic. It's definitely a classic. All right. And the song is just a classic. The Bee Gees, John Travolta. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Mike. Now that dude had some hair, didn't he? All the people say stuff about my hair. Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, share this video. Check out all the links below. Pound the like button. Bang the bell button. Retweet TechBalt. I'll say hi to you guys in the chat. Thanks a lot. New show every day. See you tomorrow.